Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Today is a beautiful day, but things are getting incredibly dark and messy in the soap world. We have a massive update to unpack, and honestly, I am still trying to process everything that just went down. Grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive right into the absolute chaos. And I mean absolute chaos. You guys know I have been covering this show for a long time, and I have seen a lot of crazy things happen in Los Angeles. But this is on another level. So let's just get right into it because my head is still spinning from the latest developments. First of all, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the betrayal. We all watched Hope Logan completely blindside the Forrester family with her surprise ASAP fashion show at Logan. She literally hijacked the international press, the buyers, and the entire spotlight right out from under Eric Forrester's highly anticipated haute couture return. Just wow. I mean, the sheer audacity of it. Hope stood up there on that stage, soaking in the applause for Hope by Logan, while her entire family watched on a live stream in absolute horror, and honestly, the fans on social media are literally tearing each other apart right now. Half the fans are cheering for Hope finally breaking free and getting her own agency, but the other half, they are screaming about how she is a traitor who just stabbed the man who raised her right in the back. But the real tragedy here isn't just about dresses and press coverage. It is about family, and this is where the story takes a really dark, heartbreaking turn. Because Eric Forrester, the patriarch, the legend, the man who built this entire empire from the ground up, just couldn't take it. After witnessing Hope's ultimate betrayal and seeing his own legacy pushed aside for a cheap Logan stunt, Eric suffered a mild stroke. Yes, you heard me right, a stroke, brought on by extreme disappointment and heartbreak. I was watching the screen and just felt this knot in my stomach. The writers really went there. You see him clutch his chest, the realization washing over his face that the girl he loved and supported for years just ruined his grand return. It was devastating. The hospital scenes were just gut-wrenching. The beeping monitors, the sterile white walls, the sheer panic on Steffy and Ridge's faces as they hovered over his bed. It really took me back to last year when we all thought we were going to lose Eric for good. It is just too much for this family to bear. So Eric is lying there in the hospital bed. He is weak, he is recovering, but his mind is sharper and angrier than ever. And this is where the blogger in me just has to scream. Because Eric didn't just wake up and forgive everyone like he usually does. Oh no, he woke up and chose absolute violence. Right there on his hospital bed, Eric demanded his lawyers. He decided to completely change his will. And when I say change, I mean a total scorched earth policy. Eric officially removed Brooke and Hope from his will entirely. He stripped them of all benefits, all future claims, every single tie to Forrester creations. They are out, done, erased. Let that sink in for a second. Hope's legacy at the company. Gone. Brooke's decades of history, her shares, her influence, her position as the matriarch of the company. Wiped out with the stroke of a pen. Honestly, part of me is cheering because Eric finally grew a backbone and stopped letting the Logans walk all over him. But another part of me is just in shock. I mean, maybe I'm being too harsh on Brooke, but she has gotten away with so much over the years. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. The fans have been begging for Eric to put his foot down, and he finally did it in the most brutal way possible. And he didn't stop there. Eric had to figure out what to do with the Hope for the Future line. The line that Hope just abandoned to go work with Katie and Deke Sharp. Ridge had recently promoted Zende to lead designer, but without Hope, the brand was basically dead in the water. But Eric is a visionary. He decided to hand over full control of the HFTF line to Zende and Electra Forrester. Yes, finally, Zende is getting the respect he deserves. I have been ranting about this for months. Zende was pushed aside for Thomas. Then he was pushed aside for Deke. His designs were shelved, his talent was ignored, and he was treated like an afterthought. Now, Eric has literally handed him the keys to the kingdom, and pairing him with Elektra. That is a genius move. Elektra has been dealing with her own messy drama with Will Spencer and his lies, so giving her this massive career boost is exactly what she needs. Zende and Elektra are going to rebrand and rebuild that line, and I honestly cannot wait to see what they do with it. Take that, Hope. But wait, because Eric's wrath wasn't just limited to legal documents and promotions. He had one more decree from his hospital bed. He officially banned Brooke Logan from stepping foot inside the Forrester Creations building. Banned. Being an ED. I can already picture Charlie Weber standing at the front desk, awkwardly holding a clipboard, having to tell Brooke that her key card has been deactivated. The sheer humiliation of it all. Brooke has treated that building like her own personal living room for 30 years. She wanders the halls, she barges into the CEO office, she gives orders like she owns the place, and now she is persona non grata. She is literally locked out. I am living for this drama. What were they thinking? Did Brooke really believe she could just coast through this after her daughter destroyed Eric's show? Of course, this massive earthquake in the family has completely shattered Ridge Forrester. Poor, waffling Ridge. But on the other hand, you have Brooke, his Logan, his destiny. The woman he always goes back to. Ridge is caught right in the middle of this war. How can he support Eric banning his wife from the building? But how can he support his wife when her daughter just nearly killed his father with stress? Ridge is going to be pacing around his office, staring out windows, sighing heavily, and looking conflicted for the next 6 months. We all know the drill. He loves his dad, but he is obsessed with Brooke. It is the ultimate impossible choice, and honestly, I don't know who actually believes this is going to end well for his marriage. Because let's talk about Brooke's reaction to all of this. You would think that after her daughter's betrayal and Eric's stroke, Brooke would be apologetic. You would think she would take a step back, eat some humble pie, and try to make amends. But no, that is not the Brooke Logan we know. Brooke is absolutely furious. And when Brooke gets angry, she gets dangerous. She is not just going to sit at home and cry about being locked out of Forrester Creations. She is going to fight back. And who does she turn to when she wants to blow up the Forrester family? Dollar Bill Spencer. Oh yes, you guys, the unholy alliance is back. Brooke has started secretly meeting with Bill Spencer to plan a massive retaliation. Bill is already riding high off the success of the Logan fashion show. He loves nothing more than sticking it to Ridge and Eric. Bill has been funding Katie and Hope's little rebellion, but now he has Brooke in his corner. Brooke and Bill are actively plotting to completely overthrow Eric's influence in the fashion industry. They want to destroy the Forrester monopoly. They want to tear down the empire that Eric built just to prove a point. Brooke is so blinded by her own bruised ego that she is willing to align with the devil himself to get revenge on a sick old man. It is dark, it is twisted, it is classic soap opera gold. I mean, think about the history here. Bill Spencer literally blew up the Spectra building. He has tried to ruin Forrester Creations countless times. And Brooke has always stood on her high horse, judging him, but now that her pride is hurt, now she is right there in the mud with him, plotting corporate sabotage. It is wild. I am just typing this so fast because my brain is exploding with all the possibilities. Will Ridge find out about Brooke and Bill's secret meetings? Because if he does, that marriage is over. And what about Katie? Katie thinks she is the mastermind behind this new Logan brand. She thinks she is the one running the show with Bill. But with Brooke suddenly sweeping in, playing the victim, and teaming up with Bill, Katie is going to get pushed right to the side. The Logan sisters are going to end up in a massive power struggle of their own. I just keep thinking about Eric lying in that hospital bed. The man has given his entire life to his family and his company. He finally tries to make a comeback, and his own stepdaughter and granddaughter completely destroy it. You can't even blame the guy for snapping. The will change was harsh, yes. The ban was extreme, sure, but sometimes you have to burn the bridge to stop the enemy from crossing. I am honestly a bit tired of the constant back and forth, but this storyline feels different. It feels permanent. You don't just undo a will change made on a hospital bed after a stroke. You don't just unban someone from a building without a massive fight. The lines have been drawn in the sand. It is the Forresters versus the Logans and the Spencers, and this time there are no prisoners being taken. Zende and Elektra are going to have to work overtime to prove that Hope for the future doesn't actually need hope. They have the talent, they have the drive, and now they have Eric's blessing. I am rooting for them so hard. I want Zende to design a collection that completely blows Hope's new Logan line out of the water. I want Hope to look at the runway and realize that she was replaceable all along. But let's be real, the writers love Hope. They love Brooke. They are going to make this a massive, drawn-out war. Hope is going to play the victim, crying about how Eric is being cruel to her. Brooke is going to justify her revenge with Bill by claiming she is just protecting her family. It is going to be exhausting, but we are all going to be glued to our screens. So what do you guys think? Is Eric completely justified in cutting Brooke and Hope out of his will? Or did he go too far by banning Brooke from the building while he was recovering from a stroke? And what about Ridge? Who is he going to choose? His sick father or his vengeful wife? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I need to know. I am not the only one losing my mind over this. I am going to go take a nap and try to recover from this absolute emotional roller coaster. It has been a wild week on The Bold and the Beautiful, and it looks like the drama is only just beginning. Stay tuned because I will be back with more updates as soon as they drop. Until then, keep watching, keep venting, and let's see who survives this fashion war.